Hey everyone, Canadian Renegade here again. Hopefully everybody had a Merry Christmas and was able to spend some time with some friends and family over the holidays. Um, Maybe you're still enjoying it. I'm just taking a little break from tobogganing to do this video. Anyways, this video is inspired by the other video I did on we would do that, but you won't let us. And in there, people had mentioned the BC deer call, which I actually meant to briefly touch on that in that video, but I forgot because a lot of times I have a bunch of points in my head and I just skip over stuff. But anyways, I actually pulled up an article here. I'm going to read some of it and then add some commentary. This one's from the Vancouver Sun, but there was articles by most news outlets. If you search like BC deer call assault rifles or BC deer call AR-15 or something like that, you'll find a bunch of articles on it. And I know I'm pretty sure True North and Rebel News also did some as well, but I was having trouble finding those articles in a short period of time. So I just went with this one. So anyways, the headline, this is from the Vancouver Sun. It says semi-automatic assault-style rifles to be used for Sydney Island deer kill. Now we all know that this, assault style doesn't really mean anything. It's just a scary term that the media and the liberals have come up with in order to justify the banning of these guns. Right? It's kind of like saying, I would like a beef style burger, and it's like, well, I guess that's not actually beef then, right? So if you say it's an assault style rifle, well, you're basically saying it's not an assault rifle. Okay. Anyways, it says the call starting December 1st and expected to last 10 days will be carried out by sharpshooters in helicopters as well as by land and boat. So this whole thing was like a huge debacle. It wasn't just gun activists that were calling them out on this. It was also animal rights activists because they're basically flying around in helicopters, shooting these deer. You got the helicopter moving. I guess scopes don't work very well out of helicopters because of the vibration. So it was like open sights in a moving, helicopter, probably with deer moving. I can't imagine that the majority of the kills would be like really clean, humane kills. So animal rights activists were also on them for this. The call, planned by Parks Canada and expected to last 10 days, is intended to eliminate European fallow deer and invasive species from the island, but will also see native black-tailed deer killed. Now, this I also forgot to mention. This is November 17th, 2023, so it's just over a year ago that this happened. Um, I'm not going to read all of it, but um, basically they hired some private contractors. The government of I think it was Parks Canada hired some government contractors to call these fallow deer, and I think they're out of the United States and New Zealand. They were using semi-automatic rifles, which are now completely banned in Canada. Remember, we were told that you can't use them to kill deer. Or they're not good for hunting. It's like, well, I guess they're okay for culling though, right? Like it's this, like I said, it's this usual like hypocritical logic that these guys use. Um, it says the plan to use private contractors to kill the fallow deer and restore native plants on the 9 square kilometer island at a cost of 5.9 million has divided the island. Basically, the property owners, a lot of them were in favor of just letting hunters do the job. And in fact, hunters had already been killing quite a few of the deer. And that was kind of my thoughts as well. It's like, why not just issue a bunch of free tags? Sorry for the sun here. It was cloudy when I set up, and now it's basically shining in my face. Hopefully it's not too annoying. But yeah, like you could have just had hunters do it. They could have just issued a bunch of extra tags to hunters and had them. I'm sure there's lots of people that would be happy to hunt a deer species like that that's not native to Canada. But instead they chose to hire these contractors at a high expense. And I think I read somewhere that I wasn't in this article, but they even spent like $130,000 to do the paperwork to bring in the illegal guns into Canada properly. You know what I mean? Like it's just unbelievable, right? It says Freedom of Information documents acquired by Lalonde show that Coastal Conservation and its contractor White Buffalo will use restricted semi-automatic assault-style rifles to dispatch the deer, and they will be equipped with suppressors, which is also illegal in Canada. I should probably do a video on suppressors. They're actually really good for hunting and just hearing protection in general. A lot of European countries, that even European countries that have stricter gun control than Canada, allow suppressors because of the hearing protection aspect, and also that it keeps the shots quiet, so you're not bothering other people as much with the sound. Anyways, and they will be equipped with suppressors or silencers using 22 caliber ammunition. 223 caliber ammunition with extended magazines holding up to 30 rounds. He said. Once again, right? Like I was mentioning, I guess I was corrected in the comment section. A lot of people were saying that in like BC and Ontario that you may be able to use 22 caliber centerfire ammunition for hunting. Here in Alberta, you are not, but I guess in some places in Canada you are. So there's differences between provinces. But anyways, I was saying, like I would potentially use, or maybe let my children use 223 to shoot a deer with the right bullet style, let's say. But some people say, well, you shouldn't do that because it's inhumane or whatever. But here they are using 223s. Anyways, it says and then the extended magazines holding 30 rounds. So once again, right, like us citizens, we're limited to 5-round capacity on our semi-automatic rifles. I think it's even less when we're hunting, but the government has no problem bringing in contractors with 30-round magazines. They basically make all the rules for us, and then they just ignore it as they see fit. Like I said, they're a bunch of hypocrites. Lalonde said the shooters won't be using scopes on the rifles in helicopters because of the vibrations in the aircraft. The idea is to pepper a lot of shots in a hurry in a deer's direction, said Lalonde. He said any hunter following regulations doesn't shoot at moving animals because it's nearly impossible to make a clean kill. And that's like me as well. Like I generally will not shoot at a moving animal unless it's very close. I like to have a good broadside shot, even within 200 yards. Like I'll admittedly say, like, I'm not like a sharpshooter, right? So, I'm not like taking risky shots. I want my animals to be humanely killed. He said the helicopter shooters will mark their kills using GPS pins, and ground crews are expected to move in later and collect the dead deer. But Lalonde said that without scopes, he expects many of the animals will likely be wounded and suffer going into undergrowth where they may be difficult to find. Let's see. Says the contractors will be allowed to shoot deer as close as 25 meters from the island's homes. Once again, that's a no-no. Like, you're not allowed to just charge firearms. I think in Alberta it's within 200 meters of homes, something like that. So once again, they're ignoring all of the rules that they set for us. They're ignoring them in order to do this deer call, which they didn't even need to hire these contractors in the first place. They could have had actual hunters do the job. I mean, and you know what? If actual hunters don't want to do it for free, then pay the hunters. Be like I'll give you $1,000 bounty. I think later on after this is one of the articles before the hunt, but there was other articles after the hunt, and I think it was like they spent over $10,000 per deer to kill these deer, and I think about half of the deer they killed were black-tailed deer, which were the wrong type and not the fallow deer. And I can tell you right now that if you paid hunters $1,000 per animal, and let's say you'd have to provide proof by bringing in like the head or some part of the animal for identification, they could have done this for, I bet, $1,000 per deer or less, no problem with like actual hunters, because like a lot of hunters would have wanted to hunt just for the trophy or just to have like a mount or something like that, or just for the meat. I mean, there's lots of people that would do it with the cost of meat, would do it for free. But yeah, like especially if they couldn't find enough interest, even paying them $1,000 per animal would be a tenth of what they ended up spending after the fact, right? So like these people, they just don't think, they don't care about logic. And this is the type of people that we're dealing with when we're trying to justify, why they don't need to be restricting our guns. So it's just impossible to reason with these people. Anyways, I just thought I'd bring this up. I don't think I'm going to go any longer. I think I've kind of said enough, but yeah, it's just like basically any and every rule that they lay out for the public, they just disregarded all of it. They're doing this call to supposedly protect these invasive, or not, the native plants from these invasive deer. But they don't care about the being ethical in how they're doing it, or even following the rules they set out for other Canadians. So anyways, just more hypocrisy out of the government, and I'll leave it at that. Hopefully, if I don't have another video, everybody have a happy new year, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.